through the entire 5-day process, or the 5-day class, showing to him that his mind had effectively recorded the entire 5 days. He was able to pinpoint each point that I ran across in this process. So as you're following this back home, you're trying to, if you haven't done gray room, this will be something where now you can think about different applications. If you get kids that are having some challenges at school or something, and they've convinced themselves that they are having troubles remembering things. If you can use this process, you can effectively run on their timeline and allow them to recall the day's events, backwards, forwards, and I'm just going to demonstrate. And Dave, you brought it up. You got a reason we're doing this? Have a seat. And is it all right if I touch your arm? Cool. So, what I want you to do, actually, could you bring your sleeve, roll your sleeve up? The first thing that I do is I establish the ability to be able to recall a huge amount of information in a condensed, short piece of timeline. So the way that I come up with doing this is there a movie that you know so well that if you were to walk past a doorway, it was on the TV, and you only saw a blip of it, you would not only know what movie it was, you would be able to pinpoint what part of the movie it is.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park, great movie. So what we're going to do here is, this is going to be the beginning of the movie. Right here is the very end of the movie, okay? I want you to close your eyes. I want you to think about that movie, and here it starts, and move along, and what happens right here?
They're uncovering the fossils, and they're getting the little bit of, he has the little, it's where the main character is teasing the kid about like how velociraptors would cut their belly open with hook.
And you can see it so clearly, right? Close your eyes. And we move up. And what happens here?
The car's going over the edge of the T-Rex is attacking it. It's going. Yeah.
Okay. Keep your eyes closed. And if we back up a little bit, what happened here?
They're trying to feed the T-Rex to the goat that's not eating it, and the storm's coming through.
Okay. And we. What's happening here?
The velociraptors are chasing the female lead through the utility tunnel.
And we're going to back up again a little bit. What happened here?
Jeff Goldman's character is on the surgery table.
And what happened here?
They're crawling through the air vents from the velociraptors.
And the movie is finished. Now keep your eyes closed. Now, how long is this movie?
2 hours, 2.5.
About 2 hours, 2.5. So if we go back to the beginning, and we start the movie, and did you see the whole movie?
Most of the movie.
Most of the movie.
I think the whole movie, yeah.
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 Well, that was good, because you watched it in about 7 seconds. So we're going to do it one more time, okay? Start, here we go, and see the whole movie? Did you miss any part?
Got kind of stuck at the beginning. It started to watch the scenes in real time. If that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
But I got all the way through.
Then let's watch it one more time, and I'll keep it real consistent. Ready? And it starts, and you see the whole movie?
You go a little further.
I stopped before the end of the credits.
Damn it.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Did you recognize any names where I stopped on the credits?
Jeff Goldblum.
So you watched an entire movie in under 10 seconds, and I managed to stop in the middle of the credits at the very end, and you could see a name.
Yes.
Open your eyes. Allow your subconscious to realize that you were able to watch a little over 2.5 hour movie. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. And the third time was so clear that you realized that I had not actually stopped on what we had set for the end of the movie. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
How many times have you done the gray room?
I lost count.
Good answer. So what we're going to do is I'm going to, as soon as you see that second hand hit the 3, we're going to start. Ready, and boom, you're going down, all the way down the escalator. You're at the bottom. In front of you is a doorway. You walk in the room, it's the gray room, and on the walls you see the positive stuff and the less than positive stuff. Go ahead and obliterate all the less than positive stuff. Throw it into the fire. See the flames rising up, feel the heat, see the smoke dissipate, feel the changes in your body, see all the beautiful positive stuff collecting, glowing, flowing into you better and better. Every breath you take, every beat of your heart coming back in 3, 2, 1.
Good.
Did you miss any parts?
No.
How do you feel?
Good.
30 seconds, you did an entire gray room protocol. That's how that gets done.
All right.
Questions?
Any questions?
Yeah. So he was familiar with gray room, but if you're talking with someone that has no knowledge of the gray room,
Correct.
like when you're working with a client, they're not familiar with the gray room, right?
No, and I'm glad you brought that up. When you're doing a process such as this, I will not do this with a client that I have not done the gray room with a minimum of 4 times. They have to have a process at which they are familiar with, which they can follow. That being said, as David alluded, I have a few clients, in fact, a couple of them they're going through divorce. Which, as you know, they come to you, you clean them all up, and put them out on the streets, and a phone call from the lawyer or other person, and they're covered with. And so they have been given permission to call me up. They have my phone number, and when I answer, first thing I ask them, are you sitting down? Are you ready? That's already an anchor that has them prepped. And I can run them through the entire process, which 30 seconds, and I don't even have to slam them that hard. This is kind of to show you what can be done. But it rarely takes me more than a minute. And I can audibly hear the weight fall off. They're like, oh, thank you. And some of them I've been able to teach to be able to do it on their own, especially when it's time to go to bed. If you can automate this and be able to get into bed, go into a flow, run yourself through the whole procedure, would that be beneficial for you?
Sure.
Yeah. And then, as I alluded, for anybody that's teaching things, or if you've got kids, like I say, when they come home and, Mom, we had this thing in class, and I got a test tomorrow, and I don't remember it all, and you can go, okay, remember, here's the day where you went over it. What happened here? Well, that's where they talked about what happened here. And that's where we were, and then back up. And the reason I have them toggle back and forth a little bit is it imprints it even harder. Just like with the movie. It's one thing to be able to jump forward and all this stuff, but when you can jump forward and then go, and if we rewind a little bit, where's this? Oh, yep, yeah, that's right. Here, yep, and back here, and then to the finish. Both your subconscious and your conscious are going. Sir.
And it's very vivid, like visually, it's very, very, very vivid.
And that's why I try to do it with a movie. And yes, I've had a few clients, I never watched a movie in my life, and I lived under a rock, and I've only read, books or something like that. In that case, I've had a couple of them where I've actually went, okay, fine, you win. Have you ever read a book that you remember quite well? What's in this chapter? What's in this chapter? And you can toggle back and forth. The reason I like using movies, it's very visual and audible. It connects them much better, and as you alluded to, you can see in the fact that you're like, it's not, you're in the credits, because you could see it.
I saw you anchored your client. Are you sitting down, etc.?
Correct.
But when we did it here, you used the arm. How do you do that?
Because the arm, this stuff is to set up the construct. You don't do that each time that you're going to do the sped up version. I have to have a way, again, to allow the subconscious to understand that we can compress time. If I can get you to watch a 2 to 2.5 hour movie in 10 seconds, more than once, at that point, now all of a sudden your conscious can relax and go, oh, okay, that worked. We could do this. And now if I say, okay, let's do gray room, and your conscious goes, well, that takes 10 minutes. Well, if you can watch a 2-hour movie in 10 seconds, can you do gray room in 30 seconds? And that, good.
Well, and then, like you said, you could do any other sort of process.
Exactly.
Including image cycling.
Image cycling, and yes, what other, any other applications you guys can think of?
Good question.
Sir, question.
Do you do this with clients over Skype?
Yes.
How do you transition from an in-person process? How do you modify this to do it over Skype in a video conferencing format?
Because I can still do the same, so I break it down into numerical. 0 is the beginning of the movie, 10 is the end of the movie. Or you can break it into 100 if you want to make it easier. What happens at 3? Let's move back to 2. Let's go to 6. What happens at 5? 10 is the end credits. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did you see the whole movie? And again, that breaks down time compression. If I can count to 10 and you can watch a 2-hour movie, again, now your conscious goes, wow, what else can we do? What can't we do?
So where I get, the disconnect was, so I understand that you're doing that over Skype. The part about with the arm though, that's in person.
That's in person.
Right. You're not doing that over Skype.
No, in Skype, that's what I was saying. That's because I can't physically touch and be able to run that up and down. I have to have another way to be able to give them some type of, with their eyes closed, where are you in the movie at this point? 3. And be able to toggle them back and forth to once again allow them to experience the visual in their head and prove to themselves that they can indeed take that amount of information, compress it, and watch it clearly. Joseph?
Kind of impish question, but you can compress like a 1 hour process right down into 10 seconds, right?
Correct.
And then couldn't you also compress like so your 10 to 1 minute, right? And then could you compress like 100 1 minute, 100 2 hour sessions into, you see what I mean? Like to stack the process even further?
What do you think?
Yeah.
And that's where, before I did the demonstration, I alluded that one of the students from our last class, I had him take an entire 5-day intensive class. And I was like, so, if we take the 5-day class, do you think you can follow this? And the look on his face was like, sure. I'm like, good. Breaking it down back and forth, and now we've got all the classmates who know the timeline. I mean, yes, a majority of us have probably seen Jurassic Park, but these are students that went through the same thing, and the look on their faces when he was able to knock that out, and them to verify that, oh, you're right, day 3, yeah, and we went over that, and for him to be able to recall that, and after he did that, I said, okay, now watch this. Are you ready? And I ran him through the full class 3 times simultaneously. When he came out, he was like, holy shit. I said, yeah, did I just unpack all the information that you may have thought you didn't have fully set in? He goes, yeah. It was there. Your brain recorded all of it, every bit, in HD. And now you have not only witnessed it, your conscious knows it's there. Any questions from people out in virtual land? Anybody else who got any questions, comments, ahas, epiphanies?
Allegra just goes, ooh, click. Allegra clicked.
Uh-huh.
You know it's good when Allegra's clicking.
Uh-huh. Hi, Allegra. Thanks for clicking.
All right. Any sticking points about this? Do you have any questions? Is it clear on how to do it?
Because you guys are about to practice this.
Yeah, so when you gave the example of little Johnny coming home from school and he's got the test and all that, so run that scenario again now. So he comes home, he's complaining to his mom or somebody that he's got this test coming up and can't remember all the stuff.
Uh-huh.
Right. So your response to that was?
Okay. Come on up. Have a seat. So, remember, we'll just start from the top. You haven't set up this protocol with Johnny at all, okay? So, is there a movie that you've seen that you know backwards and forwards?
Yes.
What movie might that be? Wind Talkers. Is it okay if I touch your arm? Okay. So, Wind Talkers. If this is the beginning of the movie, this is the very end. Close your eyes, keep them closed through the entire process. The movie starts. What happens here?
The Navajo Indians are reporting the Marine Corps training.
Okay. And what happens here?
A guy gets in a fight with one of the Navajo Indians, another Marine.
Okay. And rewind a little bit. What happens here?
The 2 Navajo Indians are doing a ritual with sagebrush because they know they're getting ready to go over to battle.
Okay. What happens here?
There's a battle going on. The main character's job is to kill the Navajo if he's an imminent possibility of getting captured by the Japanese, and it almost happens.
Okay. What happens here?
the main characters rescues a little Japanese girl while all that was going on.
Rewind a bit. What happens here?
They've been surprised by, the main character takes one of the Navajo Indians, and in the movie, one of the guys mentioned that the Navajo Indian looked like a Jap. So they don't have a radio that works, so he dresses the Navajo Indian up like a Japanese guy, and then he has him act like he's this prisoner, and they walk into the Japanese camp.
Okay. And end credits. Now, here we go. We're going to start from the beginning. And did you see the whole movie?
Pretty much.
And how long is the movie?
It's about 2 hours.
About 2 hours. Let's do it one more time. Starting here and did you miss any part of it?
I don't think so. I mean, it's all in there.
Yep, let's do it one more. Starting and open your eyes. You just watched a 2-hour movie 3 times. You didn't miss anything.
Right.
Let that sink in so that your mind knows that you can actually track that stuff that much. Okay. Now, you sat right there and watched the class, the teaching on this. Close your eyes. Starting right here is when Joseph came up for the demonstration. What happened there?
You asked him if he saw the whole movie.
What happened there?
You're doing it the second time too.
Rewind a little bit. What's going on here? Let your subconscious act.
No, it's
Let me
not
look.
up.
Here, let me move it back a little bit.
Okay, so he just acknowledged that he saw the whole movie.
Okay. And what happened here?
I don't know, I don't have clear pictures of it. It's like just kind of,
Let me move it.
my mind
Yep. Let your subconscious answer, and I'm going to move it around just a little bit until the picture shows up. Tell me to stop when the picture.
Stop there. So, yeah, so he acknowledges he's gone through 3 times. And can track it through 3 times.
Okay. And here's where I called you up.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to run through it 3 times, and I want your subconscious to take over. Don't worry about your conscious, okay? Now, what happens here? Bring that picture up.
That's where you were asking me what I saw, I got stuck.
Mm-hmm. No, this is from the earlier recording with Joseph.
Okay. I don't know, I'm just not processing right now, my mind,
No.
I'm stuck.
Yep. We'll go back to here once.
Okay. So you're going through the process with Joseph, and he acknowledges that he's gone through the whole movie and he's seen the first time through.
Now bring it to the end so you're not stuck in the middle and open your eyes. What'd you guys notice?
His eyes were moving.
It happens all the time when I do this. And when people watch the movie in high speed, you'll see their eyes just fluttering because they're just like you. How clear was it on that third pass?
Very, very good.
Even at that high speed.
Yeah.
It's like you're watching on a high def big screen and you take the remote control and you go times 30. And even at that rate, because you know the process, you're like, I saw it all. And because it's internalized, it's even more, your eyes don't have to follow and process the way it does. That's why when you were having a little questioning there, when I moved it around a little bit so that I could stop on a clear frame, what did that do for you?
Established a point I can remember. And it's like I had a reference point.
Yes. And what you did there was you took something that was so fresh that you'd only seen once, and I was able to run it through, and you were able to pinpoint and pick part of that recording that you hadn't probably fully filed away yet. You were still able to pull it up, reference it. And that's why that student on a full 5-day, now imagine this type of training, 5 days, 8 to 12-hour days, and be able to have me go and go, what happened here? And have you go, that was day 3 in the morning, David talked to us about, and the rest of the students are opening, looking at their notes going, holy shit, he's right. And what happened here? That was day 4, and in the afternoon, David was talking about. So again, think about the applications. Any other questions before we break to, round of applause?
So I noticed with Joseph, was we went to the gray room, he started grabbing the pictures of, he went actually body recalled the motions to actions.
Yeah, and that'll come down to how in-depth the person has had the activities, the experience. Where, I've got some, your preference is to pull the items down. I've got a couple of clients who, through the different things different options that I give them, one, she is a Harry Potter fan. She grabs the magic wand and that shit just dances off and she sends it down into the fire. I got another client, he's a pyro. He likes his flamethrower, and as soon as I do that, he's just like, and he's done. And he knows that he's torched everything. And I've got another client who is she likes shooting, so she just breaks out her 50 cal chain fed and just goes around the room and blasts everything off. But whatever you use, as long as they can follow the process, they can go in and do whatever process it is that they need to get the change work that they're looking for. And again, for teaching or reestablishing the fact that yes, you recorded all that you needed to know. If you could teach this to kids at the end of the class, where did you record this? You know, okay. Now if you could take that recording, put it in somewhere, where would you put it? When I work with my college students, once I teach them the construct of this is your desktop, this is where everything is, some of them that have a little trouble remembering, I will have them I'll ask them questions about, you know, things from their past and watch their eye markers and stuff, and it's different enough for me to be able to show them that this is where you store the majority of your stuff. But for the students that their eyes never move at all while I'm asking them questions, I'm like, wow, let me guess. Your desktop has all the icons, all the folders open right here. And no wonder you have troubles remembering stuff, because the information you're trying to get is behind breakfast you had today, the route to drive here, the funny video of the cat that you saw on YouTube, the class, and the information you need is in the folder back here. And so what I teach them is when they go in, especially for tests, they will go through a certain protocol. They'll go into the bathroom or someplace. They'll do a 2-minute power pose, asking questioning affirmations. They'll come into the classroom ready for the test, and they get right into the zone, and the first thing they do, open up the desktop, and they'll close all of the open folders. And I've had a couple of them like, well, I'm going to look dumb. I'm like, to who? And do you really care? Because do you care if Bobby thinks you're kind of stupid if at the end you've got the better grade and he's being cool? And so they'll close it out, and I go, okay, remember where you put your folder with all the information for the test. They're like, they'll pull this over and they'll open it up and they'll lay out their desktop for what they need for the test. Now, all this stuff, along with the other preparations, gets them ready, and they're knocking out tests in record time, no anxiety, and they're out the door.
So they're physically doing those things while they're at their desk?
Yep.
Ah.
Yep, because one of the things when David was teaching, it taught me, I got in trouble when I was taking tests because I was always looking up. Mr. Zedel, the answers are not on the ceiling. Well, if I'd have known back then, yeah, they are. They're right here. Leave me the hell alone. I'm trying to access. Eyes on the table. Well, down here is where I've got my music files. Over here is the compression ratios for a big block Mopar. No wonder I can't get this shit figured out. It's up here, and if I'd have known, I'd have shut these files down, I'd have brought this one down, opened it up. And knowing what the process we just went through, I would have known to be able to go home and go, okay, today's class, let me run through it 3 or 4 times, got it, put it in this folder. Now that it's time for the test, bring the folder down, open it up, pull that out. Even if I want to set an anchor, I can run through it a couple of times with the test in front of me. Any other questions, ahas, epiphanies before I send you off to can we just go? All right, we're going to give you, because it should be relatively quick, ironically, setting up the construct takes way longer than after it's set up. So take your time, set up, yes, David?
Oh, you did run through the entire class with Joe? Like, yeah, you did with Joe, so we dropped him in the transfer, ran through the class and brought him back out. Go ahead and catch that part.
We ran through Joseph's demonstration 3 times, full through, correct? Yep.
So I can do it or you can do it, but what I'd like to do is pull up a blank space on the whiteboard and just kind of bullet point the steps for them. Because especially a lot of the people are going to be doing this at home or through Zoom or some other teleconferencing with each other. So they're going to need to know what steps, what process matters. There's a bunch of people came in like halfway through, and so they need to be able to practice or understand. So just 3 to 5 simple steps that they can follow.
Okay, first step is to establish a movie or protocol the client can follow. So again, what is a movie, or if they can't think of one, a book? Something that they know so well that you can bounce back and forth through. Two, you run them through the movie, again, movie or book, with reversal, trying to think of a better way to do it, with rewind steps involved. Three, then you have them run through the full movie to end credits 2 to 3 times to establish belief in time crunch. Four, bring out of trance and establish what they've accomplished to acknowledge to subconscious. Yes, Tina, I know. I'm working on it. Okay, honey. 5. And then through the process. Is that too simplified? Does that make enough sense? Any questions there?
How long are you going to give them to do this?
I'm going to give you guys 30 minutes. Try to get as many reps in as possible. Yeah. Any questions from the people at home? How's epiphanies? For those of you at home, if you are trying to figure out how to work with others, if you're by yourself, I don't know
they're gonna have to reach out to each other via chat, like Zoom or something like that.
Yeah,
Skype. How they go is in class, she actually is really good at kind of taking the lead on that. So if you could guide people through creating a Zoom room or something like that, so they have a chance to practice it, that would be awesome. I don't know if you can hear me, but if you are, just type in.
Yeah, they should be able to hear you.
If other people know how to do it, find a partner. And again, the secret to this is doing. So, an imperfect something is always better than a perfect nothing. So, just commit to it, have fun with it, and
If nothing else, what you could do is try it on your own arm, close your eyes and think of a movie, and just move your finger around and see if you can, how vividly you're able to bring up that point of the movie to help establish that you've got that set in. Try running through a couple of times, and then take what we just, what I just taught, and try to do this full teaching in the same location and try to jump back and forth to establish. It's one of the few that I can think of that you can work on effectively on your own. Okay? Good stuff. Thank you. See you guys back in 30 minutes.
All right.